At number 84 on the iconic 100 list is the 1977 Star Wars Luke Skywalker card. And here to talk about it today is the one and only David Ratliff from Signed and Slab. David, welcome. When you think about this card, what comes to mind?
So listen, Star Wars is it's one of the most iconic brands in entertainment, in collecting, in pop culture. Like it just doesn't stop, right? And so, having one or more of those cards on this list, I mean, an iconic card list is not complete without something from that set. And the number one card seems like the best one to choose.
Yeah, I think, as I look at the list and I see this came in at number 84, I'm really impressed because it's really hard to identify non-sports cards that are, in and around cards like, these big time sports cards that we all know and love so well. But even with that, this card was on, a large portion of the 150 people who we polled. It's on a large portion of their lists. And there are people who had it up in the 30s and the 40s. And so, as I look at this card and I think about that brand that you just talked about, I mean, Star Wars is the brand, right? It's one of the most recognizable brands in all of entertainment. And I know that, there's a lot of different things for Star Wars that you can collect, but if you're going to collect cards and you're going to think about which of those cards are most recognizable, I think this is the one.
It's a critical card. There are a few others from the set that I think get overlooked, particularly the first series of stickers. I think a lot of us, to your point, Adam, of trying to rank something like that within the sports card world, one of the things about the Star Wars cards is they're not as populated in slabs as of yet, right? And I think that that's something that over time is likely to change, particularly as we get back into a world where slabbing for set building purposes or otherwise becomes a bigger thing. And look, those original Star Wars boxes are highly collectible. They're very expensive, which makes it somewhat prohibitive to open them to slab cards. So you're going to be looking at people that built sets or where are those raw cards. But we're seeing more and more of it, certainly at shows. And the other thing that's been interesting to watch too, I think, is as new Star Wars products are coming out and you're starting to get the reproduction of or retro chrome refractor versions of some of these original cards.
Exactly.
I can't tell you how many people didn't realize that, oh, they made these before, so you get an opportunity to kind of educate people in the non-sports world that, yeah, not only do they exist, like there are a lot of great scenes from the movie in these sets. So, go back and do your research and discover what's out there.
I think I love your perspective on this, particularly the point that you made about slabbing the cards. We, as your Instagram name sort of indicates, like slabbing a card is really important for how people view it. And if there's a whole bunch of a card out there and none of them are slabbed, people look at it and they go, well, that's not as significant. But I think this is one of those situations where as more become available, as more surface and people see them more often, people's eyes are going to light up a little bit. They're going to look and they're going to go, oh, that is Luke Skywalker's first card. Oh, that thing's 40 something years old. Oh, it's really hard to find in a high grade. And as you put those things together, and as more sports people enter into the world of non-sports and more of the Star Wars collectors continue to get older and more, settled and have a little bit more money, I see it being one of those cards that people are going to look back at, and not only one of those cards, but one of those sets and the unopened wax and that sort of stuff. it's really the set from Star Wars. There's a couple of other ones. I know there's like the Wonder Bread set and some of these other ones that people really like, but
Right.
I think it's the card, and I think it's the set.
No, I agree. And listen, the great thing about those sets is that it gives you a lot of different ways to collect. You could player character collect if you want. You could set collect. You can wax pack or box collect. Like it gives you a lot of different ways to come at it based on how you enjoy the hobby and what you like to collect.
Right.
And on really the population side of it, sometimes that's what you need a little bit higher population of slab cards to really set off the collecting wave. And so look, Star Wars is not going anywhere. It's going to be around, it's going to be in our face for a long time. There are always opportunities to kind of set off the awareness again. And so yeah, look, I love that set. I think it's a great card to start with, and get one and see where it takes you.
Love it, man. Great perspective. Well, there it is, the 1977 Luke Skywalker, number 84 on the iconic 100 list. Next time we will be back with number 83. And until then, happy collecting.